We're at Manfield Circuit. Chris Amon, named after a Kiwi great, for this final stop of the Repco NextGen NZ Championship. The town of Fielding in the Manawatu district, about 20 k's from Palmerston North, is the setting for this one. Established in 1871, it's proudly won New Zealand's Best Town Award some 16 times. The Fielding sale yards have been the backbone of the wider community for 125 years, a rich, diverse farming region. But as you can see from the drone shots, this is the number 2 spot to visit on TripAdvisor. Good afternoon, everybody. Greg Ruston, Andrew Waite with you here live at Manfield. Met Service says we're in for a beautiful afternoon here. Highs in the 20s with easterly winds around about 31 k's an hour. This is going to be good, isn't it? Lots of great things. We might have seen the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Trophy wrap up at Highlands, but the 86 series, brought to you by Bridgestone, that is close at the moment.
It really is. That's getting crunch time in that championship. We've got the Summerset GT New Zealand Championship. This is the last round of their championship with dramas going on in that championship too. So it's certainly heating up as the Next Gen Championships come to a close.
As I said, fun afternoon, lots of racing coming your way. There has been a bit of news and activity from the paddock area this morning. In fact, overnight, an incredible repair job on Angus Fogg's central muscle car.
Yeah, he had a crash coming towards pit lane, which is just over my left shoulder here. So he did a bit of damage to the car, but if anyone's going to get a car fixed in time, it's going to be Angus Fogg, and he did exactly that. Him and his team, they got their car repaired overnight, and he's back out here today doing what he does best.
And great work by the officials here to do some repairs on the final corner after an incident for Rick Armstrong in qualifying for Somerset GT.
Yeah, it was for the start of his weekend. He did miss practice yesterday with commitments, so he unfortunately missed that. So he's behind the 8 ball already, and then in qualifying there, he made a mistake into the last corner and went off the track and got the wall. So the International Motorsport team are working flat out at the moment, getting that car prepared for the race this afternoon. They're pretty confident it's going to get back out there. They're a team with a lot of history, and they know what they're doing. So again, another team that I'm sure we'll see get the car back out there, but a bit more drum for us to watch and unfold.
And he'll be keeping a close eye on his son Marcus racing in IndyCar this week. And as you can hear over our shoulder there are some Porsches on circuit. So the New Zealand Porsche Racing Series, that's how we kick off this afternoon's program. In commentary, a former racer and driver coach in Stu Owers, and alongside him, our great mate Ronan Murphy. Good afternoon, Ronan.
Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Andrew. It's great to be here at Manfield Circuit, Chris Amon. And yeah, just about to begin. We've got the first race for the New Zealand Porsche Racing Championship. And as you said, joined in the box by none other than Stu Owers, a bit of a Porsche expert himself.
Thank you, Ronan. And look, this is my personal favourite. But look, let's quick see who's on pole. Nick Cutfield again on pole. Daniel Angus right beside him, those 2 late model cars. Robert Dong, our 26-year campaigner there. Duncan McCrosty, that's an older car. Ian Hill. Now, a little bit further back, Dallas Alexander, who qualified a little bit better than that, but got shifted back. And then we start into the Caymans, Chris Barendek, and then into the Boxsters. There's a whole lineup of Boxsters down there. Watch those guys. It's wheel-to-wheel combat in these.
Yeah, Neville Chandler there in P8, Kelly McEwen in 9th, and as we see there in 13th, Chris Taylor rounding out the field in the 101 car. So great looking grid out there for the first race of the weekend for the Porsche Racing Championship. And as we look at Manfield Circuit, Chris Amon, 8 corners, 4 metres of elevation, 3.03 kilometres in distance and 8 corners. And circuit certainly doesn't really show on that map there, but how much camber this track has, Stu, and how that can play a big part when you're trying to make a pass.
It really does, and you only feel the camber when you actually walk around there. If you're driving around, you don't notice it, but it's the most heavily cambered track in New Zealand, but it's also beautifully designed. Long straights with tight corners at the end, perfect for launching down the inside, down the outside, and doing, passing under brakes.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to this one, and obviously we've got a couple of the heavyweights of the category on the front row there. Nick Cutfield on the pole position in that white and gold Track Vision supported 991.2 Generation Cup car, and in an identical car beside him on the grid is our championship leader, Daniel Angus in the Kingsway car. So we're not too far away from a race start here. We've got all the cars gridded up in the box, safety crew cars in behind there, so we shouldn't be too far away from a race start.
Here we go, here's the lights up.
We hear the lights coming on, see them coming on now. And they're out. Off we go for the start of the first race of the New Zealand Porsche Racing Championship. Daniel Angus got an absolute blinder of a start, and he's taken the lead off the outside of the front row down towards turn 1. Nick Cutfield, he consolidates and moves into second there. Duncan McCrosty's done a great job in the 997 Spec Cup car to move into third. But look at those two 991s going at it as we go down towards Splash.
And we're in for a battle here because we had the car that's in second at the moment, qualified faster, and he's going to be determined to get in front of the sort of similar looking car, both gold and white. But Daniel Angus in the front, Nick behind him.
Absolutely, and there, Angus didn't quite get off the corner as good as he would have liked, and Nick Cutfield's now got a massive run on him, going down the back straight. Is he going to be able to try and make a move? Angus moves to the inside and defends, does a good job of that, but is he going to be able to get off at Higgins' corner as well as he'd like? Cutfield gets it sharply turned at the apex, gets back on the power, so they head down the back straight. These two are driving away.
Yeah, but Daniel got a great launch out of there, so he's picked up another couple of car lengths there. Now this is testing, coming into this very tricky sweeper. There's a few ways you can do this corner, and this is where Nick is closed in. But look at the battle behind them there, 2 or 3 cars behind, and those are similar 997, so the older generation again. Great battle there, and that behind them is Robert Dong, who got a very slow start.
Yeah, Duncan McCrosty and our newcomer Dallas Alexander. We haven't seen him at all during the 4 rounds of the championship so far, so great to have him out there in that beautiful white with gold wheels 997 Cup car. He's giving McCrosty a run for that last spot on the podium. Robert Dong there a little bit further back, but as we see here, the battle at the front, Daniel Angus still running that defensive inside line. He's making it very hard for Nick Cutfield, who's clearly got oodles of speed in the 234 car. He's just trying everything he can to find a way past Daniel Angus. As he looks to the inside, he doesn't quite rub the back of the 224 cars. They now come onto the back straight. The Kingsway car versus the Track Vision car. It's looking like Cutfield's going to get the run.
Got a good side draft here. Is that going to work? Going down into that tricky sweeper. Look at that. He's, oh, beautiful. He's got him.
Brilliantly executed pass from Nick Cutfield. He put Angus under pressure, made him run wide through the Higgins corner, got a run onto the back straight with better drive traction, and he's got the move done. Great start from Nick Cutfield, and he also sets the fastest lap of the race so far on that lap at a 109.5.
Look at the inside, the big look down the inside. Oh, and a bit too hungry on the gas going out.
He hit the curb pretty hard there, the apex curb, and as he picked up the throttle, it unsettled the rear of the 991 Cup car. Coming now, Daniel Angus didn't have a great corner through Splash, and he's lost a bit of ground. These two, they've managed to streak away. They've got about a 10 to 12 car length gap ahead of Duncan McCrosty and Dallas Alexander. Robert Dong, he's not letting these two guys get away, and he's going to be trying to fight for that third place on the podium. Going now up towards Higgins' corner, McCrosty and Alexander. We've got two 991 Generation 2s fighting out in front and two 997 Cup cars fighting for that third spot.
Shaping up a good battle, this one, isn't it? They're both very similar cars, identical cars. And, of course, Dallas Alexander, brand new to our series, still feeling his way with these cars. But look at where he is, right up behind Duncan McCrosty, who's done all the season with us. So very experienced in that car now.
Yeah, certainly is. Duncan comes from a rally car background, and so he's certainly he's doing a great job adapting to the circuit racing. And as he comes across the line there in the 155 car, Nick Cutfield's again actually increased that, or up to the ante at the front there with a 109.1, so still the fastest car on the track, consecutive laps in a row. So we look back there, McCrosty, followed by Dallas Alexander, Robert Dong there in fifth. So those gaps have sort of started to neutralise a little bit between those three cars, but you can't take your eye off the ball in this category. You see now McCrosty is under pressure again from Alexander. They come through the hairpin down towards on the back straight. They've already got a little bit of lap traffic there in the form of Neville Chandler. They go past him. He actually looks like he's moving a bit slowly.
Yeah, I don't think it's normal speed, unfortunately, for Neville. But look, what a great battle here. This is wonderful for these guys. As you say, Duncan's rally background, it's taken him a while to realise you've got to keep these cars straight, and now he does that, and he's doing a brilliant job.
Certainly is, and he's still coming under a lot of pressure from Dallas Alexander. They've managed to drop Robert Dong a little bit more in the 888 car, who's a little bit further back there in fifth. They come now down the front straight to kick off another lap, and Nick Cutfield again with another fastest lap of the race at a 108.8. So he's continuously going faster and faster lap after lap. He's actually managed to opened that gap to Daniel Angus to over 4 seconds. So Daniel Angus's fastest lap's a 1 minute 10.2, but his last lap was a 1 minute 11.1. So he's clearly maybe just struggling a little bit with the car at the moment, waiting for the tyres to come up.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of time the last 3 laps.
Well, they're in the 7s and 8s this morning for qualifying. So, look, he's probably the setup maybe not quite to his liking. So Nick doesn't have to sort of push it much harder than that just to keep that lead out the front.
Yeah, 4-second margin's pretty comfortable, and he's doing a great job to drive away from the rest of the field, and to be close to his qualifying time is seriously impressive, especially 5 laps into the race. So we're halfway through the race 1 so far for the New Zealand Porsche Racing Championship. What's going to happen in the last 5? We've got McCrosty there getting attacked still by Dallas Alexander, who's still having a bit of trouble trying to get past the 155 car. They come onto the front straight. Listen to those flat 6s howl as they come across the line. McCrosty, Dallas Alexander had the headlights going. He's not obviously really trying to get a move on here and try and get this 3rd place away from McCrosty.
But Duncan McCrosty in that gold car, though, calm under pressure, isn't he? He's not buckling under that, and he's actually managed to pull out a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a sort of a breathing margin there. But great work from our new driver, Dallas Alexander. He's really piling on that pressure, but he's not doing rash stuff, which is what we always worry about.
He certainly is, and now they're coming now down towards Higgins Corner once again. McCrosty, he's got Dallas Alexander up behind him, and they're actually not too far off the back of Daniel Angus. That gap's about 3 seconds, so McCrosty and Alexander, if they keep moving at the pace they're going at, they could be in with a shot to try and chase down Daniel Angus, whose pace has actually come a bit better now. He's now back into the 1 minute 10s, but
so are these guys. The guys on screen at the moment are doing the same lap time, so good call there.
They certainly are, but it's not going to be enough to hold a candle to Nick Cutfield, who's in the mid 1 minute 9. So the pace has started to settle off a little bit after that Fast and the Furious start. Certainly saw Nick Cutfield. He didn't quite get the start he would have wanted from the pole position, but he more than made up for it with that brilliant pass on Daniel Angus.
He did, and also really good, just by applying the pressure, nothing crazy, and just kept the pressure on and on and on, and then look for the gap, and did a brilliant job. So let's just see what these guys can do, whether our new driver, Dallas Alexander, can get past. Duncan is sort of relaxed a bit. You can notice he's not going quite so defensive anymore. He's got enough of a comfort zone. He's not sort of diving to the inside line for every corner. But look at this.
Duncan McCrosty didn't get the exit he would have liked, and Dallas Alexander's now going up the outside of him. Can he get the move done? Going down towards Higgins. They're going to have some traffic to deal with on the exit here, Stu. So this could play a part into it. As they come now up the back straight past Mark McCorn and Steve Stokes. So can they? He's actually managed to get a run, has Dallas Alexander. McCrosty shuts the door coming down to the last corner.
Enough, yeah. Look, good. This is great racing. Really good racing.
It certainly is, and they now come onto the front straight. This is New Zealand Porsche racing at its absolute best. We see McCrosty now. Alexander goes to the outside. He moves back to the inside. McCrosty's obviously watching the mirrors. They've now got Ashton McCorn to deal with in one of the boxes. Oh, McCrosty had it sideways. You talked about him not going sideways, and he's had a big drift on the exit there.
Same amount of power as always, but he pulled it to the right to try and cut inside Ashton McCorn's car. And it just lit it up for a moment there. You've still got to ease on the gas, these cars. They've got a lot of horsepower, even though they've got those monster back tyres. Look at this. Down through the inside. Look at those boxes nicely getting out of the way. Not getting out of the way, but showing exactly where these drivers have got to do. That's critical here.
Yeah, great respectful racing from the guys in the Boxster class to manage to stay on their line, not make it too hard for the Cup cars on their way through. And like we've spoken about in the past, Stu, when you go endurance racing or you go racing in different categories overseas, you do have to sometimes deal with slower cars, or you might be the slower car that has to deal with faster cars. And so it's all great experience for all these guys racing. You've got to navigate and weave through the traffic while dealing with your own race, which is what Duncan McCrosty and Dallas Alexander are doing very well as we speak.
Yeah, well put, because it's so, if you look at the 12-hour that was on, the Bathurst 12-hour, even in that race, you've got a big difference in speed between cars, and picking your way through for both cars is such an art. and we're lucky these guys get a lot of experience at this. It's difficult for both ends. If you're in a slower car, you've got to judge it all. The faster cars, of course, loom up on these boxes at a huge rate of knots.
Absolutely, and actually those gaps we were talking about a little bit earlier have started to shrink. So McCrosty and Alexander are now 1.7 seconds behind Daniel Angus. So they're doing a great job to catch him, and clearly that pressure from Dallas Alexander's lit the fire under Duncan McCrosty, because he's now charging in towards Daniel Angus. The gap was 3 seconds 2 laps ago, and it's now 1.7.
So back to the Boxsters now. This is where the intensity is amazing. Look at this. Kelly McEwen once again battling for position there. And behind him, Chris Taylor going one side to the other. Kelly be delighted by this. He's actually leading the Boxsters at the moment. And he's one of the guys that's been racing for about 3 or 4 seasons with us now.
And we've just commenced the final lap. Nick Cutfield's come across the line, but look at the livery on that car, Kelly McEwen's, that Golf livery, very iconic Porsche colours. Aren't they, Stu? As we see the 101 car, Chris Taylor, 2 very iconic liveries on both of those cars, chasing each other down. Great to see the guys out there having fun with not only the cars, but the liveries on them as well. Nick Cutfield, though, our race leader, he's come out of the hairpin, down towards Higgins. He opens up the throttle on the 234 car. Listen to the howling flat 6.
And behind him, you've got another, the 2997s there. Another round down the outside. A big run by Dallas.
Nick Cutfield coming down the back straight now. The car looks settled. It looks clean. Not a mark on it. After the start he managed to make amends. Got past Daniel Angus. He comes through the last corner. Out across the ripple strip to come across the line to take out race 1 for the New Zealand Porsche Racing Championship. Congratulations, Nick Cutfield. What a drive. Daniel Angus comes home in second in the 224 car, the Kensway car. McCrosty and Alexander, they don't settle it till right across the line. McCrosty hangs on for that 3rd place. Dallas Alexander, what a debut from him in the class to come back and come home there in 4th. He pushed Duncan all the way to the line, and then we see the battle between the 101 of Chris Taylor and 96 of Kelly McEwen. So Taylor's managed to eclipse McEwen, get ahead on that last lap, and come across the line.
And Chris Taylor, the car going across the line, he started right at the very back of the grid. He had a timing issue at the start, so we put him at the back of the grid, and he's managed to come through and win that Boxster race. So congratulations, Chris Taylor.
What a great job. And Robert Dong came home in 5th place. Lost a bit of time at the end there to Dallas Alexander and Duncan McCrosty. As we take a look at the results from the first race of the New Zealand Porsche Racing Championship of the weekend, Nick Cutfield took out the win. Daniel Angus came home in 2nd. Duncan McCrosty rounded out the podium there in 3rd. Dallas Alexander in 4th. Robert Dong in 5th place, 5th out of the Cup cars. Ian Hill there in 6th, first of the non-Cup cars. Chris Barron get there in 7th. Chris Taylor in 8th. Kelly McEwen in 9th. And Ashton McCorn rounding out the top 10. Mark McCorn, dad, that eternal father-son battle continued. Home in 11th. Steve Stokes there in 12th. And Neville Chandler, who we saw had some issues, unfortunately, at the start of the race, coming home there in 13th. So the race got underway, and Cutfield just too much wheel spin. We saw the licorice straps get left by the 234 as they went down the front straight for the first time. Daniel Angus took the lead, back to where he likes to be, the championship leader. But unfortunately for him, it didn't last long enough. Nick Cutfield got up the inside, got amazing drive tractions. We saw there, that may explain what happened to Neville Chandler. The 65 did a bit of rallycross there.
Maybe an underwear issue there, I think.
More than likely, Stu, as we see there. McCrosty and Alexander, they had a great battle. We were focused on that for most of the race. McCrosty there with a bit of Tokyo drift out of turn 1. Coming down the back straight, McEwen and Taylor, their battle absolutely raged on in the Golf livery and the John Player Special liveried Porsches. But Nick Cutfield, he was untouchable out there. Once he got his way to the front, he never looked back. Came across the line to take a really dominant race win here in the first race of the weekend for the New Zealand Porsche Racing Championship.
Look at that, these Boxsters, they're great mates, all these guys. They've got to know each other so well. There'll be a lot of fun back in the pits later on.
Yeah, and we see there the SP Tools TA2 cars ready to go out for the next race. But we see now the Boxsters pulling up to the podium area, to the Allied Petroleum Victory Lane, and the 101 car, Chris Taylor, after pulling that awesome move on Kelly McEwen in the Golf liveried car. He managed to come home with the race win. Looks pretty happy with it all.
Looks sort of like Darth Vader there with that helmet on. But yeah, brilliant. On the last lap almost, wasn't it? Nice work. Yeah. As I say, starting right from the back too. So you had a handicap going there.
It certainly was. We see the...
Stephen Stokes pulling in there in third place. In the old Rothmans coloured car. A lot of people won't even know what Rothmans is, but
no.
Very famous livery back in the day.
And let's head down to the Allied Petroleum victory lane with Rusty.
Stu and Ronan have very brilliantly covered all the different classes in that race. We're celebrating this one with the Boxster 2.7 litre class. Chris Taylor, great work.
Wow, that was fantastic. I missed out on qualifying, had to start at the back of the grid, the back of all the classes, and I knew it was going to be a fun race, and I just picked my way through them. And before I knew it, I was in the lead of our Boxster classes. It was fantastic.
It was fantastic for us too, because it was an epic battle with Kelly there, wasn't it?
Oh, Kelly was putting up a great fight, and I think I only got it, was it the last lap? So, yeah, it was a fantastic race.
Great work. Congratulations. Nice start to the weekend.
Yeah, oh, great. Yep, it's made up for this morning.
There you go. Let's let Chris go, and we'll bring Kelly McEwen in here, who's smiling equally as widely. Hello. There are a few telltale marks on that Golf Porsche, though.
Yeah, it's been in the battles a bit, I got to say, but I kept missing gear changes, so I sort of gave him the lead in the end, unfortunately, but good start, got way out in front and just couldn't keep the pace there, really.
They talk about it being just minimising the little thing. Is that what ultimately brought it under?
It totally is. If that car's moving around too much, you're just losing time. You know, there's no horsepower, so it's all finesse.
Right, but I mean, it does provide for us and for those of you, certainly the constituents competing in it, some great racing, doesn't it?
Oh, that must have been amusing to watch. It was certainly good out of the cockpit, I can tell you.
I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Well done. Great start here at Manfield.
Cheers.
There we go. Let's bring Steve Stokes in now, if we can. I think who's right beside us. Come in third in class. Jump on over here for us. Hey, congratulations. Did you enjoy that?
Fantastic fun. Yeah. At my age, it's one of the few choices you got for a real true excitement. So fantastic. I highly recommend it to anybody. It doesn't need a lot of cash either. Just do it.
You don't need to share your age with us, but clearly it keeps you young at heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, you bet. Fantastic. Yeah, great bunch of blokes. You know, sponsors fantastic, which is me. Yep. So all good fun. You know, fantastic.
Go well for the rest of the weekend here.
Okay, thanks, guys.
There you go, Steve Stokes. That rounds out the top three in the 2.7 litre Boxster class. We are only just getting started here on the grand finale of the Repco NextGen NZ Championship. A break and back with more from Manfield. They've become destinations in their own right and jewels of the Kiwi motor racing landscape. On the South Island, nestled in beautiful Cromwell and everything that Central Otago has to offer, is Highlands Motorsport Park, home in recent years to the New Zealand Grand Prix. From mini golf to karts, one of the best museums in the Tasman region, and the award-winning Blue with a View. With its thriving membership and a commitment to experiences that are exceptional, there's cool cars in action here almost every day of the year. In the centre of the North Island, fittingly in an adventure playground, is Taupō International Motorsport Park. Extensive upgrades that complement the venue's history has seen it attract major sports like supercars, helping to bolster tourism in the region. Friendly staff, activities for aspiring racers, as well as road safety initiatives, make it a standout in the range of Taupō attractions. The third of the parks in this impressive group in some ways brings the best of both its siblings together. Hampton Downs will catch your eye as you travel along the freeway through the Waikato. A strong membership and quality on-site living for those who love racing and dream machines. Hampton has made itself a car culture capital, with regular events for those who just want to admire, to world-renowned gatherings like Mad Mike's Summer Bash. There's a busy industry precinct, karts, a variety of layouts for track activity and more, all overseen by a team committed to making your visit one to remember. The grounds of Hampton Downs, Taupō and Highlands are something to behold, but it's the memories made here that will live with you forever.
At Repco, we get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels. Repco gets you going.
Wait, is this an NAPA Toyota? Look, Toyotas, all of them. You got a Farmer and a Hilux, a Hiace, Highlander, RAV4, GR86, and even a hydrogen car. You got the All Blacks and Blackferns in a Prado. A happy family in an electric vehicle. And a happy Dame Lisa Carrington carrying her kayak. So now do you think it's a Toyota ad?
Nah, it's just New Zealand.
What's with the music thing?
Magic afternoon here in the Manawatu, and we are set for some V8 action. As you come into fielding, there are some signs up promoting the grand finale of the Repco NextGen NZ Championship that simply say V8 racing on this weekend, and it's a double helping in many ways. Coming up this afternoon, the Central Muscle Cars, but right now we get set for the SP Tools TA2 New Zealand Championship. Greg Ruston, Ronan Murphy with you in commentary. This is the second last round of the series for them. They're going to get to have a fantastic way to wrap up a very memorable summer in Topor alongside the supercars, which will be cool.
Absolutely, Rusty, and as we've already spoken about in the past, it is just so good to have the SP Tools TA2 New Zealand Championship in New Zealand, and the debut season obviously for these cars, and to have some Dodge Challengers, some Chevy Camaros and some Ford Mustangs out there revving it up and putting on some great racing. We've got obviously some young Chargers in there, some more experienced battlers out there as well, and it's just such a great field, such a great formula, and obviously awesome for us to be able to watch.
You have a saying of the day, revving it up. That's courtesy of Ronan Murphy. So Dylan Grant will start this one from pole position in the NAPA Auto Parts Dodge. And a big good afternoon and welcome to lots of the executive that are here from NAPA too, our proud sponsors of the recent 70th New Zealand Grand Prix. So Dylan on pole alongside Caleb Byers. Toby Elmiger had a crack at right at the end of qualifying, trying to sneak onto the front row but couldn't quite do it. Excellent work by Carl Gaines to get on that second row of the grid. Peter Ward, they have repaired that car after some damage at Highlands. We'll cover that off in the conversation, but he's down in P7. I thought we might get a little bit more out of Wardy in that race, but we are seeing some very close competition indeed. And well done to everybody on Mark Pitcher's team who have repaired that car. They had to do some chassis straightening work. It's at the back of the field, another Speedway convert in this class, and they did the once-over yesterday to make sure all of that great work was done right, that it felt right, and he gave it the tick of approval. So looking forward to getting down to battle. Now, here's the state of play for you in championship terms. Caleb Byers, who starts this one on the front row in the SP Tools entry, in fact, leads the championship on 735 points. Dylan Grant, who you're watching on screen there at the moment, is on 692. He's second on the points ladder. And Toby Elmiger holds down third. He's only 42 points behind Dylan Grant. So, and Jamie McDonald, former sprint car, and very accomplished sprint car racer, fourth in the order there, Ronan, too.
Yeah, 100%. And for Dylan Grant, he's starting in the best place possible off that pole position, and great, obviously, to have NAPA Auto Parts on the side of that car. We've got the SP Tools car there of Caleb Byers alongside him on the front row, and really cool to see a mix. The top three are filled out by all three of our body shapes. So we've got the Dodge Challenger on the pole, the Chevy Camaro beside it there on the front row of the grid, and then on the start of the second row of the grid, we've got Toby Elmiger in a Ford Mustang. So how cool is that, Rusty?
More cars have been arriving in New Zealand. We will see this grid swell at the next event in Taupō. Paul Manuel is in the field, and he is one of the small but ultra passionate team that work countless hours to have brought New Zealand what has been so successful across the ditch in Australia. There's well over 100 cars on the other side of the ditch, and it is growing here, and I'm not going to be at all surprised if next summer we perhaps see a revisit of the Australia versus New Zealand rivalries that we've seen over the years. They're all bunched up and ready for a start here. SP Tools TA2 New Zealand Championship, their first race of the weekend. Does Byers get the better of Dylan Grant as they run down to Toyota corner for the first time? The Dodge Challenger's got it covered. Elmiger is boxed there, and he's dropped back down, I think, maybe to fourth or perhaps even fifth place. He might just get fourth there.
Yeah, Toby Elmiger got caught out there at the start. He got the worst start of everyone and lost the spot to Jamie McDonald, who's come from the third row of the grid to move up into third. So great start from Jamie McDonald. He's really figuring these cars out.
Elmiger keen to get on with this because he knows that Grant and Byers will bolt here on the colder rubber. They're masters of it. Look at them already. Look at the margin that they've got. Elmiger in a drag race with Jamie McDonald. McDonald should have the better line, though, for the next corner, and he gets brave under brakes, and he'll hold on to it. Good piece of driving there.
It certainly was, and they are still arguing it coming out of Higgins' corner. Elmiger with a bit of a tank slapper there. He putting the power down in the Mustang. They come down the back straight there. Jamie McDonald's maintained that third position ahead of Elmiger. Carl Gaines, he's done a great job to stay there. Paul Manuel's actually gone up the inside, so one of the category founders here in New Zealand, he's getting his elbows out and goes up the side and past Carl Gaines there. It looks like there actually might be some damage to Paul Manuel's car.
Is that bodywork? They did have some trouble with the front of that car yesterday. They were repairing it last night when I swung by, so hopefully that doesn't damage the tyre and that he can press on for the remaining less than whatever it is, 8 laps in this race now. So we'll keep a little eye on that. Should say g'day, no doubt he's watching as well, to Australian category manager at Matty McKeldin. I should have called him to see if there was any truth to the rumours, but I am hearing that Dylan Grant might have had some convos with some Trans Am teams on the other side of the ditch, and it would be nice to think that the NAPA driver could be, maybe, if they can stitch it together, making an appearance on that side of the Tasman during the season. Here's Elmiger again. It's not been easy to get by Jamie McDonald, but he's got some good drive this time. Might work out.
He got the traction down that time. No tank slappers for Elmiger on this lap, and he's managed to go up the inside of Jamie McDonald, get the pass done. He's taken over that third position, so Elmiger's now moved up into the podium spots. We've got a Dodge Challenger leading a Chevy Camaro and a Ford Mustang there now in third, so he's now got a bit of work to do to try and catch those top two. As Jamie McDonald's now looking back up the inside. He's caught Elmiger napping, and he's going to go try and get the pass done to take that podium spot back. Elmiger got better traction off the corner and took the spot back, so great battle between those two, the 74 and the 71 cars coming down towards Splash, and it looks like they're a little bit further back. Paul Manuel's definitely got a problem with that 15 car. It could be, looks like potentially maybe something in the left rear of that car. We saw something flapping off it a couple of laps ago.
I thought on first glance it might have been like a front splitter issue, but I reckon you're right. It's something on the side of the car, and we'll just keep a little watch of that. It was again evident as they came down the front straight.
Yeah, we can see it there coming down the back straight. So something's not right with the 15 car of Paul Manuel. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that and what occurs if anything changes with that car, because it certainly hasn't slowed him down or cost him any lap speed. but it was showing a little bit of smoke the last couple of laps in different places, and it's certainly something scraping in that car.
It catches the breeze, I think, at certain points, and it magnifies whatever's going on. Now, Elminger's cleared. He's been able to clear Jamie McDonald, and you can see already he's got good pace, but he's lost ground to this pair now. So as they battle away, will that gradually, maybe toward the end of the lap 9 or something or other, let Elminger into the game? It's Dylan Grant leading the way from Caleb Byers, who's just started university, in fact, I think doing a Bachelor of Commerce at UC at University of Canterbury in Christchurch.
My alma mater.
Did you pass with flying colours? I think you did. Well done.
May have not.
You have. You have. Me too, honey. Okay, now that's clearer from that camera angle, isn't it? So
we can see that bodywork on the side of that. Actually, the right side of the Dodge Challenger there of Paul Manuel. So that's starting to get worse, and providing it doesn't come off or look like it's going to come off, he may be okay. He might get away with that, but I'm sure race control will be looking into it and whether that's going to become a hazard for some of the other cars or competitors on the circuit. He's pulling over, so he knows, or he's either been notified or has noticed that something's not right with that car. That's really disappointing because Paul was having such a great run in the TA2 New Zealand supported car. Coming across the line, Elminger's managed to gap Jamie McDonald and Carl Gaines. Carl Gaines is looking for a little bit of an opportunity there down on Jamie McDonald down in turn 1 there, the two Camaros, the 61 and the 71 car.
Cracking weekend, isn't it? Good job in qualifying and right in the battle, as you say, here with Jamie McDonald. So let's see what the end of the race brings. Peter Ward's back battling with Leo Bolt there, and then I think Lance Gerlach is just a couple of car lengths behind them. 0.4 in fact last time by between Dylan Grant and Caleb Byers.
And at this point we see there Dylan Grant and Caleb Byers, they have skipped away. They're over 4 seconds ahead of Toby Elminger. So Elminger unfortunately just didn't quite get the start right, and getting stuck behind Jamie McDonald has ended up going to be very costly for him. We're halfway through the race and the two leaders are pretty far out in front, but Jamie McDonald there, he's now coming under pressure from Carl Gaines. We see there in the corner on the right-hand side of the screen, Paul Manuel's car getting pushed back into the garage, so clearly a more substantial issue with that car, and hopefully the team down there can get it sorted and we'll see him back out there tomorrow. But coming back down towards turn 1 now, Leo Bolt, the Flying Dutchman, looking for a move on Peter Ward. Didn't quite get it done, but Wardy's now coming under threat from the number 98.
The Flying Dutchman. So Grant's been able to find 2 tenths on that last lap over Caleb Byers. There are a couple of really good family or father-son stories in this field too, aren't there? So Caleb Byers is just one of them.
Yeah, Caleb Byers, Dylan Grant got their old boys on the tools and on the cans, as we see there. The 98 car, Leo Bolt, had a bit of a moment there, and
for the avoidance of doubt, that means the radio too, by the way, on the cans.
Very true, but Leo Bolt there unfortunately had a moment, so he's now gotten himself going again. Down there in 7th, Lance Gerlach in 8th, Elton Wickman 9th, and Mark Pitcher currently rounding out the top 10. Go back to the battle at hand there for 4th place. Jamie McDonald coming through the last corner. He gets the car down to the apex. Carl Gaines is a little bit sharper through that corner and actually got a really good run down the front straight. The 61 car, IQ Security supported car. Gaines looking to the inside. Not quite going to be able to get it done this time around, but Jamie McDonald actually locked the brake ever so slightly. So Gaines, he's putting him under pressure in the 61 car. Listen to those V8s as they build up speed, build up the revs down towards Splash Corner. Coming up through, Jamie McDonald, he's a sprint car driver usually, so he's learning more and more about circuit racing and racing a TA2 car. He's, I think, really enjoying his time out there, and obviously a sprint car's also got a V8 in it, but apart from both having V8s, they could not be any more different.
Every time we talk to the likes of Jamie and even Mark Pitcher, who's come out of more saloon-based speedway competition, they are just reveling in this stuff. They're enjoying the challenge that it presents. Very, very different approach to their racing, and sometimes they have tighter windows in speedway to turn cars around for different things, so they bring a bit of that to this style of competition. And last night when I was talking to a few, they already had the covers on, they're already done. They were pretty quick to get the once-over on Friday complete. Gap is now 0.7 between Dylan Grant and Caleb Byers. Gaines staying right in touch with Jamie McDonald here. That's a fantastic battle.
You see there, Carl Gaines, bit of a slide on the exit there out of turn 1. So we're on lap 8 of 10. So we've got 2 laps to go. Has anyone got anything left in the tank to try and make a pass or set up a pass or force a competitor into a mistake, try and get another pass made before the end of this race? Caleb Byers, he is not letting Dylan Grant go. That lead has grown out to 6.8 seconds over Toby Almager, but the gap between Grant and Byers has not changed much. Those two, they're joined at the hip most of the time in this championship, and this race does not change any of that. They are still right there together. Coming down the back straight, we see Jamie McDonald's there, followed by Carl Gaines. McDonald gets the car quieted, gets down to the last corner. We go back to Dylan Grant and Caleb Byers there at the front, the NAPA Auto Parts Challenger versus the SP Tools AC Delco Camaro. Slightly different line there through turn 1. Caleb.
Just going to say, I'm hearing there's another Camaro in the wings, Ronan, too, that will be available for the Topor round of the championship. So that Tristan and who does a great job working with Paul and the team we talked about before, Carrie Lathrop, and all of the crew here. Yep, we've got another car in the country. Looking forward to seeing that, hopefully on track in the hands of another excited TA2 New Zealand member. We're running down to the end of this race. Dylan Grant leading the way, and when you look at the state of the championship points and the way that they bolted them together, Ronan, for the season, the pair of both Byers and Grant have done very similar things. Really good, solid points hauls within close company of each other at the Hampton Downs races in November. Similar story at Teretonga. Both took a little bit of a blow at Highlands, but they're rebounding here. Nice start so far. Gets a little sideways out of that final turn.
How cool is that? The boys sliding the Challenger and the Camaro through the last corner there. Byers now, he's lost a little bit more time to Dylan Grant. They come out of turn 1, up over turn 2. One of the most challenging corners on the track to get right. Coming down towards turn 3. Byers actually looks like he's
dropped
slow.
back, yes,
he's got a problem of some sort. And on the final lap of the race, could Toby Almager end up catching Caleb Byers?
We've got some critical parts of the track to come here, so how hampered is the SP Tools entry? And you can see how Grant skips away. Elbiger might get him here.
Something is not right with that 33 car, the SP Tools AC Delco Camaro. He might get away with this. He's now coming through Higgins.
Wonder if it's whatever the problem is. Wonder if it's cleared itself again now. It's found a little bit more speed again. It does mean that the NAPA Auto Parts Dodge Challenger will not be challenged on the run to the line. Dylan Grant is going to take out the opener of the weekend here at Manfield for SP Tools TA2 New Zealand Championship. Well done, Dylan. That's good for the championship fight. Second on the ladder, Byers gets home, but there's more to that story. What happened on the final lap for Caleb Byers' car, and Elmiger, another excellent third.
Yeah, the young guns took out the top 3. Dylan Grant from Caleb Byers. Toby Almager there in 3rd. Jamie McDonald came home in 4th. Great job from him and showing that continuous improvement being made by the sprint car driver to come home there in 4th. The 71 gear-inch Camaro. Carl Gaines, great drive from him to come home in 5th. Lost 1 position from where he started the race, but really, really solid drive from him. Peter Ward home in 6th. Wardy not... as we look at the results, Dylan Grant took out the race win in the NAPA Auto Parts Dodge Challenger. Caleb Byers there in 2nd place in the 33. Toby Almager there in 3rd, rounding up the podium.
Wichman in 9th place. Mark Pitcher rounding out the 10 for you. There our results for the first race of the weekend. And we've got some great V8 action here as a part of the offering for the Repco NextGen NZ Championship. Just want to see what happened to it was like the kilt flying up on the side of Paul Manuel's car, wasn't it? So anyway, here's a look at some highlights for you. Dylan Grant had started from pole position as they rolled away and launched away. NAPA Auto Parts car gets the upper hand going into turn 1. But Jamie McDonald ahead of Toby Elmiger at this point, and it made Elminger's job very hard.
Yeah, not sure what happened there for Almager at the start, but it cost him pretty dearly later on. That gap had opened up in a big way to the top two. But these guys, they had a great battle, and looking there as well, Dylan Grant, Caleb Byers, they were flowing those cars beautifully out the front there. Almager finally got past Jamie McDonald in the Ford Mustang there. Managed to take that third spot. Then McDonald tried to fire it back up the inside the next lap. That was a great little bit of racecraft from McDonald to try and make another move. Didn't quite come off, but the thought was there and the intention was there, just didn't quite execute it.
There's the bodywork you could see flapping, unfortunately. It meant that Paul Manuel, who's such a driving force of this class, had to retire from the race. Up in front, we saw a bit of rear wheel spin, tied a little bit of smoke at times from Dylan Grant, but it was perfection that led him to win the race. From Caleb Byers with a little intermittent issue of some kind. He dropped back, but still home second.
Yeah, what a race. And looking down there, down on the podium, let's go down to Andrew in the Yellow Petroleum victory lane.
Dylan Grant, there was a nice win for you in the end there. Just a bit of pressure early on, and then at the end there, it got away on you.
Yeah, not sure what happened at the end there, but yeah, it was just a matter of getting in front at the start and keeping that lead. And yeah, obviously it's quite a hard track to pass, so just keeping the distance and yeah, just looking after the tyres and yeah, bringing it home in one piece.
Before Caleb dropped off, did you feel like you had control of the race up to that point?
Yeah, well, the grip did drop off a lot at the end, so it was getting a bit tricky at the end, but no, we'll work on that for the next race and see what we can do.
Great job, well done on the win. And in second place, Caleb Byers. He certainly was all go, mate. You had the pressure on throughout the race there, and on the last lap, what happened, mate?
Yeah, we had a bit of a car issue at the end. It started missing, so I don't know what happened. Had a good race with Dylan. Obviously, had a bit of contact at the start, but I mean, that's racing, and we'll push on tomorrow, and we'll see if we can go one better.
With that issue to just come on that last lap, was it anything to do with the slide on the last corner there? Looked quite good coming out of there.
Yeah, I'm sure it looked good. No, it definitely wasn't fast, but no, it was weird. We'll have a look at it overnight, and hopefully we can tune it up, and we'll be back tomorrow at the front.
Reckon you've got anything for the win tomorrow? It was so close there with just how much pressure you're putting on.
Yeah, we definitely had pace at the end, so yeah, we'll look at some videos tonight, and hopefully we can come back and beat him tomorrow.
Great job, well done. And in third place, Toby Almager. Start of the race there was a bit touch and go, went back a few positions, but managed to make it up.
Yeah, didn't have the best of starts off the line there, but I had a little battle at the first first two laps, and then yeah, just conserve the tyres for the races tomorrow.
Is that where the time was? Looking at the lap times, you're sort of about half a second away from the two out front. Do you reckon you're just looking after those tyres so you can fight harder with them tomorrow?
Yeah, just trying to keep the tyres nice for the reverse grid race tomorrow afternoon and see what we can do.
Great job, well done with that one there. And that is your podium for the TA2 New Zealand race. We have a lot more coming up. The Toyota 86 race very, very shortly.
Thank you, Andrew. Yep, you can see the Bridgestone GR86 machines all lined up. We're going to grab a quick break. Come back with that right after this here at Manfield.
At Repco, we get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels. Repco gets you going.
Wait, is this an NAPA Toyota? Look, Toyotas, all of them. You got a Farmer and a Hilux, a Hi-Ace, Highlander, RAV4, GR86, and even a hydrogen car. You got the All Blacks and Blackferns in a Prado. A happy family in an electric vehicle. And a happy Dame Lisa Carrington carrying her kayak. So now do you think it's a Toyota ad?
Nah, it's just New Zealand.
What's with the music thing?
What kind of memories does Manfield evoke from you? Some good ones, I think.
Yeah, as I was saying before, we got plenty of good memories here. Won my first New Zealand Championship in the Manchester Racing Series. It's an eventful weekend, considering we put it in the fence on the Friday morning, and that sort of put us out for all Friday and qualifying for Saturday morning. But managed to get the car repaired and get stuck into the weekend. There were a few issues with the car due to the crash, but able to pull through, so pretty thankful.
You've had a couple of weeks off between rounds of this championship. What's the thoughts that you've had in between time, knowing that we're at the business end now, Chris? We're in the, only a couple of rounds to go.
Yeah, no, I've just sort of been trying to focus on myself, not trying to overthink it too much, because we've got a good little wee buffer in the championship, so I don't want to come into the weekend putting too much pressure on myself, because last 3 weekends we've done have been phenomenal, getting all those podiums and top 3 results. So if we can stay in there this weekend, we'll keep pushing forward. So just in the break, it's just been a lot of sim work, studying all my data from the previous rounds and footage, and just general training.
Have you been, conscious of making a choice when the weekends maybe haven't quite been, 100% from a car perspective, even if you're just slightly beneath that? Have you been conscious of just bank the points? Has that been a choice you've made?
Yeah, I think that was a big one for Highlands. Like, we came out of Hampton Downs and Teretonga for round 2 and 3, won both weekends, and we're in a really strong spot. Went down to Highlands and didn't quite have the overall package, but I just thought, it's a weekend like this is the best time to bank those valuable points, getting 2/3 and a 5th. We're only 2 points off the round 1 at the end of the weekend, so it's all we're just trying to work towards is that consistency.
You've got some unbelievable talent in this team, but the entire paddock, from an 86 perspective, there are some really strong outfits here, aren't there?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, you look at today's times, there's only about 4 or 5 tenths between that top 10 cars, and even like top 6 is within a couple tenths. So when we go to qualifying tomorrow morning, it's going to be pretty close, and every driver, got to give huge credit to them all, done an awesome job this season with all them and their teams, all getting, most of them have had podiums and awesome results, and everyone's in a good shot for an awesome spot in their championships as well.
Finally, do you look at some of those that are relatively close to you on the leaderboard and think about, what they might be like coming into these last couple of rounds, or has that not even entered your mind?
It has a little bit. Always got to think about who you're racing, because if I'm in a spot for 4th or 5th and I'm racing someone who's a bit further back in the championship, I'm not going to throw away a good result trying to get past them and end up getting damage of some sort. So just look at who I'm racing. I know the points that everyone's got and how many points you get for every position, so I'm just working that out in my head during the races so I can just figure out where I need to get to finish where I want.
He seems to be taking an approach that is beyond his years, as Greg Murphy reflected in the Repco NextGen NZ Championship podcast not all that long ago. That's his teammate, Mac Templeton. Cars are set to roll for Bridgestone GR86, their first race of the weekend, and I'm joined again by Ronan Murphy for commentary in this one. When we saw qualifying before we came on air today for the feature race tomorrow, ripper job by the youngest driver in this field in AJ Giddy, just showing again the kind of talent that he's got to grab the pole for the feature. Very, very good lap, and he's another in the mix of those to look out for that we'll be keeping a close eye on, won't we?
Absolutely, Rusty, and credit to AJ Giddy. What a lap he put out this morning, and to take the pole position. And it's actually a McKenzie Motorsport front row, because his teammate Arthur Braun, who is also just as rapid, was qualified in second place. So the front row is a complete McKenzie Motorsport lockout.
Yep. So just for a reminder too that the way the qualifying formula works for this class, it rewards consistency. So the fastest time in that qualifying session, which you can find online, the results of, and on our Toyota Gazoo Racing New Zealand social platforms and so on, is for the feature race tomorrow. But if you can replicate a really strong second fastest lap in that session, that is what counts for the grid for this first race. So why don't we bring you that now with the beautiful backdrop there at Manfield, and it is Arthur Braun who was the fastest man on Friday, fastest lap time in the 222. He's found a bit of a resurgence in form of late. Hugo Allen, reigning champion, will start alongside him. Chris White, who we heard from there a moment ago. Josh Bethune, he's been another who's been regularly at the pointy end in this championship. Justin Allen, he knows Manfield like the back of his hand. A nice improvement from Lee Zeltwanger as well, 6th.
Yeah, certainly was. And then AJ Giddy, our pole winner, he's there in 7th. Mac Templeton there in 8th, who we were just discussing. Harry Townsend there in 9th. Zach Blinko in 10th. And then a little bit further back, Cameron Hill, who we know has had some struggles this season, there in 13th. And our Tony Quinn Foundation and Wolfbrook Motorsport scholarship winner there in P14.
So point standings coming in for you in the 88. Chris White, who we heard from there a moment ago, he has a total of 714. He's on top with a Valentino Rossi buffer, 46 points over Zach Blinko. Josh Bethune is 3rd in the order, and he's only about just over 30 points behind Blinko. Reigning champion Hugo Allen is 4th in the title defence, and our pole sitter Arthur Braun 5th on the ladder coming into this one. And they're all keeping an eye on Topol coming up for the conclusion of their championship. We'll get a bit more in the way of clarity on the prize pool as well, but there's been some great packages that have been offered to the champions in this class. And I say that respectively because the rookies, for example, have been able to go to Bathurst in years gone by and compete in GR Cup at the mountain there, which has been a very cool thing. And the winner and sometimes others have had the opportunity to go and run in a Supra GT4 car abroad somewhere, which is really awesome.
I like that, the Valentino Rossi gap.
But
I know exactly.
I'm not a comedian like you, mate. That's the best I can do.
No, but exactly right, Rusty. Some incredible opportunities for these young chargers up and coming through their motorsport careers and journeys. And, it really does come to a head here in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship.
Joe on the 6th drone cam. What a shot. Beautiful colour scheme. Some great backers in this class. Some young racers with a very bright future. Not just in New Zealand motorsport, but abroad too. And Arthur Braun gets a nice jump. 2nd phase of the launch. Looks like it works for Hugo Allen. They will fight appropriately down into Toyota corner for the first time into turn 1. Braun's got the ideal line. Allen keeps the foot buried. They'll go side by side towards Splash, the pair of them. Allen might get the nose in front. Looks like it. They're leaning on each other. How good.
These two were fighting it out at Highlands on those opening few corners, racing for sheep stations, and they've gone and done it again. Hugo Allen round the outside through turn 1, through turn 2 to hold the inside for Splash, and he takes the lead.
Quality racing. That has been the undertone of this year's championship, there's probably over time been criticisms of over-enthusiasm or you know, young racers maybe stepping over the mark a little bit. That was brilliantly executed by both of them.
That was a brilliant piece of driving from not only Hugo Allen but Arthur Braun. The trust that went in between them to pull off that and go side by side for that many corners, and that consistently was incredible. And we know why Hugo Allen has the #1 plastered on the Mad Butcher car. He's the reigning champion, and he just proved why. So we see now Arthur Braun all over the back of Allen. The attitude of Hugo Allen's car doesn't probably look as pretty as what he'd like it to be. Chris White, our championship leader, he's now moved up into third, so sometimes hard to tell those pack and save cars apart, but we see now Chris White on the outside down towards turn 1. He's now going to try and go around the outside of them both, and he's managed to clear Arthur Braun. Can he clear Hugo Allen as well? Not quite, but he's going to do the exact same move that Hugo Allen just pulled on Arthur Braun a lap ago to do the same thing.
How's the bravery? Look at the pair of them. Awesome shot, and White will be better placed, I think, when they get to the next one. Entering the fray is Josh Bethune. Out goes Arthur Braun. Not the ideal spot. That hurts the momentum a little bit.
Oh, and Arthur Braun is getting muscled right now. Josh Bethune's just thrown a hammer down the inside, taking the third spot. So Arthur Braun's gone from the pole position to fourth in the span of 2 laps. That's given Hugo Allen, the reigning champion, exactly the kind of reprieve he wanted. It's managed to let him skip away from Chris White and Josh Bethune by about 5 car lengths. Exactly what he needed at this time of the race.
There are some absolutely A-grade driver coaches working on the radios in this field as well, and they'll be just offering the right succinct bits of advice in these moments, whether to push, whether to just be a little on the smarter side. Look at Justin Allen here. He's been battling at it with Lee Zeltwanger, who had a great start, and the NAPA Auto Parts 86 has been able to get back by. That's a spot for Justin Allen, 5th.
Yeah, Justin Allen, he's managed to move up into that 5th place there, and he's now all over the back of the pole sitter, Arthur Braun. What's he got for Arthur Braun coming down turn 1? Braun very defensive. He doesn't want to get caught out again like he has the last couple of laps. Now they come out of the exit of turn 1 there. Lee Zeltwanger there, our reigning Trophy Series champion, and behind Justin Allen, AJ Giddy, our pole sitter for the feature race tomorrow. He's now coming under flak from his teammate Zach Blinko on the number 90.
Just need to keep a little watch on the 186 of Cooper Barnes as well. He's down in an uncharacteristic 11th at the moment, coming off the back of a podium finish at Sydney Motorsport Park in support of supercars there in GR Cup, straight back over the ditch and into competition here. So let's watch Barnes. He's chasing Harry Townsend at the moment. Here is Justin Allen having a look. Little flash of flame from Arthur Braun's car on the downshift as they fight for 4th place. Braun still got it.
The hometown hero, Justin Allen, in the number 99 car, the NAPA Auto Parts car, going down the back straight. He's still trying to get that move done on Braun. Braun again runs defensive. He's got Lee Zeltwanger, who's trying to get a move done as well. Zeltwanger's obviously going to be wanting to try and move forward. His teammate's currently leading the race. They come through the last corner there, a little bit of rubbing on the back of Justin Allen's car. Down the front straight, Hugo Allen leads it from Chris White, Josh Bethune, Arthur Braun, Justin Allen rounding out the top 5.
Allen's got 0.7 of a second over Chris White and the fastest lap of the race so far. In fact, he's banked 2 quickest laps. Last time by it was a 1:18. When they crossed the line just now, it's a 1:17.933.
And this is heating up into a cracker as we see now downward splash. Justin Allen, he's playing a bit of Morse code on the back of Arthur Braun's bumper. Coming down through turn 4, down towards the hairpin now. He runs defensive again, does Arthur Braun. He stops Justin Allen from being able to get on the throttle when he wants to. Keeps them all light astern and in check. He's got Lee Zeltwanger behind him and behind Justin Allen. AJ Giddy there and behind him in 7th. Zach Blinko in 8th. Mac Templeton in 9th. And Harry Townsend in the Bayswater car there, rounding out the top 10.
Nothing in it between Chris White and Josh Bethune in that fight for 2nd place. As they cross the line, Ronan, 0.04 of a second difference in lap time. The pair of them, they remain, you can see there from the 6th drone cam, in exactly the same place. Things have begun to settle for Arthur Braun. Good stuff there in 4th, but he'll be kicking himself, having started this one from the ideal spot, pole position. Then it's Justin Allen. AJ Giddy, who did the job in that qualifying session, will start the feature race tomorrow from pole. He's in 7th.
Certainly is. Mac Templeton looks like he's got an issue. He lost a couple of spots up the back straight. Now he's got Cam Hill, Nathan Grammer and Lucas McGill all over the back of him, so something's clearly not right with the New World St. Martin's car, run by Neil Motorsport in conjunction with Wood Motorsport, the teammate of Chris White, our championship leader. So something obviously happened there to Mark, and he's starting to regather himself up, but looked like he might have run off the road on that previous lap.
He started working with the Toyota dealership in Cross Island Toyota, I think, hasn't he, in the last little while? So
yep, he's now working at Island Toyota down there in Christchurch. So the team at Island, run by Paul Taylor, he's loving it there, having a great time, and fitting that he races a Toyota on the weekend.
I love that, but he'll be frustrated too. Mac was so determined coming into this weekend to just have a faultless run, to really stitch together the ideal weekend. He's missed the chance to do that for different reasons across the last couple. He's outside the top 10 at present. Let's see if they can fix whatever's perhaps going on with that car. Meantime, we go back to that fight for second place. What is it now? 0.3 plus between Chris White and Josh Bethune, who really closes up under brakes there. That's where Josh has been good.
Yeah, as we see there, coming now down the front straight, Josh Bethune, he's obviously refound that form, that explosive form that we've seen through from him last season and parts of this season in the 32 car, the right karts by M2 competition. GR86 coming through turn 1. He's all over the back of the championship leader. He's got Arthur Braun in his mirrors, so it's a bit of a pack and save sandwich at the moment for the right karts car.
Ronan, you're leading in the Delhi section. Ronan Murphy, back we go. So Alan is, I think he's come into this real fired up to this race. He's got more than a second over Chris White at the moment. Now, this is what we were talking about with Chris before, just in these moments where he perhaps mightn't have that little extra relative to an Alan. He's wise enough to ensure that he banks another solid haul of points. So, series leader is well placed at the moment. Templeton's still with his hands full here. Cameron Hill might get down the inside of him for 11th.
Yeah, Mac Templeton having a big fight, arguing it out with Cameron Hill, who's managed to get past him. So there is something wrong with that car of Templeton's. He's just lost a heap of speed again off that back straight, lost the position now to Nathan Grammer, so something going on there. Mac's doing a good job to hang on to it and keep it going, but something's not right there with that New World St. Martin's car. He's lost about 6 positions in the last lap, so something not quite right. Cameron Hill, you want to talk about track limits, that was track limits, but coming down the front straight now, great battle between Cameron Hill, Nathan Grammer, Mac Templeton, and our Tony Quinn Foundation Scholarship winner Lucas McGill, who's going to go around the outside of Templeton. Great pass from McGill. Can he hold it now going towards turn 3?
Now, in between time, the head of Toyota Gazoo Racing New Zealand's motorsport operation, Nico Kaol's been quick on the calculator and has sent me a message as we watch these two here. Hugo Allen, with this race lead, will move to, I think, within 13 points of Josh Bethune in the top 3 in the series standings. So, but it does, at the moment, with Zach Blinko down in 8th spot. This is all good for Chris White. Provisionally, White would walk out of this race with 781 points to Blinko's 707. That is good as we get down to, you know, so few races left between here and Tokyo, the final round.
Absolutely, that is crucial in the championship fight. Chris White doing exactly what he needs to do. He doesn't need to be beating Hugo Allen at this stage. He just needs to be beating Zach Blinko and the cars closest to him in the points. And so Chris White, he's exactly where he'd want to be after where he started the race. And Hugo Allen at the moment, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's making a statement over a second out in front and just going to try and bag another race win. Josh Bethune's now under huge pressure from Arthur Braun. Braun's going to give him a bit of a tag up the inside there. Bit of argy-bargy from Arthur Braun. Great bit of racecraft. Didn't quite get the move done, and he's now going to come under huge pressure from Justin Allen, the NAPA Auto Parts car, who's again going to give him just a little touch-up on the rear bumper. Lee Zaltwanger there also trying to get his elbows out and get into this scrap on Justin Allen. They're going to go almost 3 wide through the hairpin there here at Manfield, and onto the straight now, down towards Higgins. Lee Zaltwanger's actually got the run. He's going to get the pass done on Justin Allen, so Allen crucially, unfortunately, left the door open on the exit there.
This has been brilliant. All of the little boxer 4-cylinder engines, Colt cars, these Toyota 86s. And what did you say then? Argy-bargy, that's a little tapping into a little bit of the late great Darrell Eastlake there, I reckon. So Allen now 1.3 seconds over Chris White. Bethune holds down that 3rd spot. There's Arthur Braun, who's got his hands full now. Lee Zaltwanger and Justin Allen. Looks like Bethune's got a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, now to all of these cars, Lee Zelltwanger and AJ Giddy seem to be the cars with the speed, because Zelltwanger's just passed Justin Allen. Now he's looking all over the back of Arthur Braun. Giddy's doing the same. He's going to follow Zelltwanger to the outside of the road to try and drive around the outside of Justin Allen. Allen's now going to go back up the inside of Zelltwanger, so can Lee Zelltwanger manage to stay on the outside coming through turn 2 and consolidate that position?
Now, I don't know whether he's done it pre-race and folded the mirrors in, but both of them are folded in for the NAPA Auto Parts entry, or whether that's been because of contact. Here comes AJ Giddy, right on the back of Zelltwanger. He'll be ideally placed there, and that's a drama for Justin Allen. The car got all 4 off the deck there when it's climbed. I think the wheel, maybe, was it a Giddy's car, or was it Zelltwanger's? Gee, that looked awkward, didn't it? Almost like a nosedive or an endo from that car.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the wheels there actually interlocked and sent Justin Allen up in the air. He went on a bit of a roller coaster ride, came back down, managed to gather it up. Credit to him not to end up off the road.
That's hurt Giddy's car, has it?
Something's happened. Oh, so it might have been Giddy's car that actually got hit. And unfortunately, that's going to be detrimental to his race. Justin Allen's car's is crabbing. That car's got an issue, massive issue on the rear there, so I think that's actually hurt both of those cars pretty significantly. Rusty's
into the fray. This is good for Zach Blinko. We're going to get to the final lap. If these two might touch, that's awkward. But this is good. Look at it crabbing. Ronan's absolutely right. The NAPA Auto Parts entry.
Oh, that's not going good, and Giddy's going to get fired there by Justin Allen. Allen with a car that's severely hurt right now, and he's almost got turned by Harry Townsend. Good forward racing there from Harry Townsend not to turn Justin Allen around.
This is good for Zach Blinko's points haul. Remember, he was further down the order. He'll recover a little bit in the way of points to try and minimise damage relative to Chris White. We'll update those numbers for you. You can find them on the TGR NZ socials. Look at the margin that Hugo Allen, the reigning champ, has built. 2.4 seconds. He is going to absolutely smash them here. Chris White, good for the championship. Wise driving, and Josh Bethune an excellent third. Wow, what a race.
Oodles of speed in the #1 car, the Mad Butcher car. He's been untouched and unfazed from the start of this one. Hugo Allen now coming around the last corner.
What a drive from the Mad Butcher entry. Nigh on perfect. Second phase of the start was brilliant. Grabbed the lead and has built it from there. He wins race 1 at Manfield. They're pumped about it too. Hugo Allen, your race winner from Chris White, the championship leader. Josh Bethune rounds out your top 3.
We saw Ian McNabb there from IMAC Race Engineering, himself and Toddy Bickerton, the brains trust down there on that car of Hugo Allen's and the 22 car of Lee Zelltwanger. Great drive from their man Hugo Allen there to take out the race win in the Mad Butcher entry, and he was virtually uncontested after about lap 3. He just drove away with that one, and Chris White there came home in second and certainly did what he needed to do for the championship.
Some fire in the belly for Hugo Allen. That's in fact Arthur Braun there, bottom left of your screen, who's finished in 4th place. But it's Allen who wins it from White and Josh Bethune. Lee Zelltwanger, really good drive from him to be in 5th place. Now, Justin Allen, with that car crabbing, has somehow brought the car home in 7th place. Harry Townsend is 9th in the end from Cooper Barnes, and Nathan Grammer, who joins the field this weekend after a bit of a standout performance in the Cup Series, the second tier of this sport. Nice work to finish just outside the top 10. Some highlights for you from the opening race of the weekend from Bridgestone GR86. Arthur Braun led them away from pole in the 222, but it was a fired-up Hugo Allen who ran side by side with him down into Toyota corner, and the pair of them were just not willing to give up their bid for the top spot. What ultimately unfolded through the next sequence of corners is that Allen grabbed it and in the end would build a lead of 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Hugo Allen. Chris White there then copied his suit and managed to get past Arthur Braun. So Chris White, the championship leader, he adapts very quickly, watched what the reigning champion did and then did the exact same thing to Arthur Braun. Braun did a great job to hold on there, unfortunately got past, or unfortunately for his sake, got passed by Josh Bethune, who put a great move on him. Lee Zelltwanger there, down the inside of Justin Allen, down towards Higgins' corner there. This was pre all that action that then unfolded, and ended up with the Napa Auto Parts car. Oh, yeah, so that was not ideal for Justin Allen, and that ended up giving the old, no, it was Lee Zelltwanger's car that he managed to climb, and unfortunately gave the Napa Auto Parts car a lot of tow out in the rear. And then we saw there a bit of a melee between Zach Blinko, Justin Allen and AJ Giddy.
Lee Zeltwanger lucky to get away with that. Allen, superb, sublime, wins it, the reigning champion by 2.7 seconds. Cars coming into Allied Petroleum Victory Lane can update you. Chris White, 781 points, leading by 68 now over Zach Blinko. Let's hear from the top three and take it to Andrew.
And Ronan Murphy, a cup of tea and a lie down after that one. They certainly a fair bit going on in that race, but there was no stopping Hugo Allen. Good job out front, pretty clean sailing for you there.
Yeah, car's super strong. Firstly, I just want to say a massive shout out to Michael Morden, Mad Butcher, who couldn't be here this weekend. Hopefully he can come out tomorrow. But yeah, look, the car's super strong. It's actually my first time racing here as well, so it's nice to win my first race here. Really fun track, car's mega, so just can't thank iMac Race Engineering enough for giving me a really strong car.
What is it, second half of the year in the championship, a bit like last year, you sort of seem to find another gear and start pulling all these wins out. What is it that lends you to do that?
I don't really know, to be honest, Wadey. Yeah, I guess the boys just kicked me into gear a little bit, and yeah, as you know, we haven't had the most ideal start to the year, but yeah, look, I'm confident we can keep bringing these strong performances, and as I say, the car's just performing better than it ever has, so it's really cool, and I'm feeling really good here. Great job, well done. And in second place, Chris White, championship leader. Looked pretty clean for you out there. Was it a race where you're just looking after the championship, bringing home the results, or were you going for the win?
To be fair, I think I was going for the win there at the start. Like, we struggled quite a bit in the practicing Thursday and Friday, so it's real good to get that P3 in quality this morning, and then we managed to get a pretty decent start, just staying there, but then door opened up on lap 2 on the outside, so I took it. Didn't quite get Hugo, but was able to hang around the outside of Arthur and chip into second there, but fortunately I think we got a little bit of steering damage there, so it made it quite difficult at the end of the race there, but no, it was quite clean.
Do you think that's a difference with, towards the end of the race, if Hugo did build that gap with the steering straight, you reckon you got something from tomorrow?
Yeah, I'd say we would have something for him. Like, I mean, him and his team did really well in that race, so definitely had a fast car, and he deserved the win in that one. So just hopefully tomorrow we can move one step further up the grid.
Great job, well done. And in third place, Josh Bethune. Josh, pretty full on for you at the beginning of that race, but good to come home in third place for you.
Yeah, it was certainly busy out there, and it's yeah, good to start getting some podiums at the end of the year and start coming back strong.
Yeah, very well done with that. And you reckon you got a bit more in the tank to take it to the guys out front tomorrow? You were close to Chris at the end there.
Yeah, I think we're pretty conservative in that one. There's no need to throw away a championship over one place at this point, but yeah, we'll start going for it now.
Good job, well done.
And it's time to celebrate the podium for race 1, round 5 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship here at Manfield Circuit Chris Amon. We welcome Tanya Kremick, Field Operations from Bridgestone, to present our trophies. And we start with third place for Right Karts by M2, Josh Bethune. In second place for Neil Motorsport, please congratulate Chris White. And in first place, what a cracking race this was. Your winner for iMac, it's Hugo Allen. Congratulations to our winner in race 1, round 5 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. More racing to come your way tomorrow from this amazing series.
Lots of stories to come out of that one, and we're looking forward to seeing what tomorrow's 2 races will bring and what the makeups of the podiums will be like. We're going to grab a break here. When we return, more V8 action. NAPA Central Muscle Cars just around the corner.
Repco, we get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels. Repco gets you going.
Wait, is this a NAPA Toyota? Look, Toyotas, all of them. You got a Farmer and a Hilux, a Hi-Ace, Highlander, RAV4, GR86, and even a hydrogen car. You got the All Blacks and Blackferns in a Prado. A happy family in an electric vehicle. And a happy Dame Lisa Carrington carrying her kayak. So now do you think it's a Toyota ad?
Nah, it's just New Zealand.
What's with the music thing?
One of the themes of the summer has been the fact there's been something for everyone, no matter where you are around this great country, and watching the Repco NextGen NZ Championship. And we go from the future stars of our sport in the Bridgestone GR86s to some of the history, some of the great muscle cars that have been such a major part of motorsport all around the world. And we cast our eyes back to the 1960s, 70s and 80s. And the thundering cars from the NAPA Central Muscle Cars. Welcome back to Manfield here in the Manawatu. It's a beautiful day for motorsport. Bright sunshine, not a cloud in the sky around the racetrack, and beautiful conditions for watching motor racing. Earlier on today, we had a opening race for this category. It was won by Andy Knight. The other big story, as the team touched on at the start of the show, was that championship leader Angus Fogg had a crash yesterday in practice. It was a massive job from his team, coupling up with some local businesses, and we'll give a shout out to Wiseman Panel Beaters down in Fielding, just down the road from the circuit, who got the mighty number 11 J.A. Russell Mustang back on track. However, they will be starting this one from down the back because this is a reverse grid and it's also a handicapped start, which means Robbo Robinson is going to start from pole in his Ford Mustang. The Ford Futura of Mark Stretton starts from the outside of the front row. Grant Crosby next, Nick Ross in fourth in his incredible Dodge Challenger, Craig Boot, and Tristan Tecchi next. Tecchi in the flame-throwing 69 Camaro. Lance Hughes and Angus Fogg had an almighty stoush for second and third in the opening race this morning, and Andy Knight, who won it, starts from the back of the grid. So watch out for Andy to charge his way forward. Field getting ready. Ronan Murphy's back alongside me in commentary. He's been putting in the hours today upstairs, but we love the Central Muscle Cars. These things have been great fun to watch, and so far it's been a really good weekend.
It certainly has, Richard Craill, and it's great to be here in mighty Manfield. It's a beautiful day here, not too many clouds in the sky, and what a terrific event. Great to be here, and the car racing so far has been excellent.
It has been very high quality, no doubt about it, and I get the feeling this might be the same. Now, this will be a handicap start, Ronan, so the field will take off in waves, essentially, as they get the green lights and the flag from the starters here, with the idea being that at the end of 8 laps, they all end up on top of each other, essentially. But it means there's some work to do for the pace setters from race 1 earlier today.
We may have to do a little bit of investigative work, because I don't see Tristan Techie's car, the 27 car, I don't see it out there lining up on the grid. I can only see 8 out of the 9 cars out there, so we may have to do a little bit of investigating, find out what's going on there. But Robbo Robinson lining up on the front of the grid there in the 166 car. Mark Stretton beside in the Futura. Grant Crosby lining up there in the 3rd spot. Nick Ross there in that beautiful Dodge Challenger. I know a few people, my father in particular, who loves Mopars, so that's certainly a favourite of the class out there, that beautiful 1970 Challenger. And then
Nick drives it extremely well too. It's a very, very fast car and well driven. The presentation and the level of detail that these drivers and teams put into their cars is outstanding. They're beautifully presented. So the Kiwi flag will drop and the handicap is underway. So Robinson and Stretton, the first 2 away. And I reckon this must be one of the most frustrating things in motorsport, is to sit there as Grant Crosby and Nick Ross on the 2nd row going, why can't I go yet? I want to go. I want to go. Those two are getting a free start.
Absolutely. You just watch those cars drive off into the distance and think, I have to catch them. But Grant Crosby and Nick Ross, they're not far away from getting their chance to go and chase down Robbo Robinson and Mark Stretton as they get going. Craig Boot's also in that group. So Crosby, Nick Ross and Craig Boot take off in the Camaro, the Challenger and the Mustang. It sounds like we're talking about TA2 when we say
doesn't it? Now goes Angus Fogg and Lance Hughes, and the final one away as the leaders get towards Higgins Corner, which is turn 6, and then it's just the back straight, the final corner to go. Andy Knight is finally away, so he's more or less of a 3-kilometre lap, about 2 kilometres behind the race leaders. So he's got some work to do.
He certainly does Andy Knight, and that beautifully presented number 5 Chevrolet Camaros. The Craig Boot, Grant Crosby and Nick Ross come down the back straight there. Booty's up the inside of Nick Ross, and it looks like he's going to get that move done. So Craig Boot might be the first one to make a move in this race as they now come up the back straight. But now going back to the front of the race, Robbo Robinson's managed to take the lead back off Mark Stretton.
How stunning is this first generation Ford Mustang, the 64, 5 and 6 spec car, the pony car that introduced the breed essentially, and it is a beautiful, beautiful racing car. That purple with the gold wheels. Mark Stretton just in behind in the Futura is catching. And this is that battle pack, so the second group of cars around. The problem with a handicap race, the idea is you want to get to the front, so you need to catch those leading cars. But if you're battling amongst yourself, you're slowing each other up. That will slow you down in getting to the cars that have had the biggest handicap at the start.
We've actually just had word that Tristan Techie is actually headed off to the Wanganui Drag. So he's running 2 classes this weekend, just not 2 classes at the same event. So he's out of action for the afternoon. Nothing wrong with the Camaro, just parked it up to go and compete at the Wanganui Drags.
So trading one thing with a ridiculous amount of horsepower for something else with a ridiculous amount of horsepower. Well, our job tomorrow is to find out how Mr. Techie went tonight, or goes tonight, and report back. Fair enough.
Absolutely, and certainly not what I was expecting, but that's pretty damn cool, and cool that he can go and do that, and then come back tomorrow and finish off the Central Muscle Cars race.
Now, to give you an idea of how this handicap is working, so Robbo Robinson leads the race by 2 seconds. His last lap time was 1 minute 16.6. Angus Fogg across the line, a 1:10.5. So 6 seconds a lap quicker, and he's 26 seconds behind, and there's 6 laps to go. So if you do your maths, he gets somewhere near the front by the end of this one, assuming it goes green the whole way. Having said that, he still needs to work his way past some pretty serious contenders like Nick Ross and Craig Boot, who are having that pretty ferocious little battle for what is 4th and 5th position. And Andy Knight last time round did a 10-1, so he's 30 seconds off the lead, but 6.5 seconds a lap quicker than the race leaders, with 5 laps to go next time by. So this should all condense up rather nicely as it all plays out.
And Andy Knight actually just set the fastest lap of the race, so he went even better than Foggy on a 1 minute 10.1. Now coming back across the line, so Robert Robinson and Mark Stretton come across 17.2 and a 17.5. Mark Stretton's just done his fastest lap of the race. Not quite as quick as Robert Robinson, but he's right in there trying to chase him down on the Ford Futura.
Fogg across the line. Angus is in the box seat in this race because he's got Andy Knight's pace, but he got that additional handicap because the handicap is based on the results of race 1. And Angus was involved in a really ferocious battle with Lance Hughes for second, while Andy Knight drove off into the distance and won by about 15 seconds. So Foggy's now 4 and a bit seconds behind Nick Ross. He's got Craig Boot and Grant Crosby just in front. So top of the shot coming out of the hairpin and driving down the inside of the road is Crosby. So this just gives you an idea of where the field is spaced out. Leaders heading down into the final corner. Battle group coming through. And that beautiful Mustang of Craig Boot looking to get 3rd position away from Grant Crosby.
And look at the horsepower of the 07 car. Craig Boot gets up behind Grant Crosby. He's just trying to figure out where he can make the pass, where he can make a move. Nick Ross hasn't actually fallen off the back of that pack too much either. Robert Robinson there still leading away. Mark Stretton there in second. So it's status quo there at the front between those two. Robert Robinson's opened up a 3.8 second gap over Stretton. Crosby's still defending like his life depends on it over Craig Boot. How did they go through turn 1 as they argued it out? Andy Knight there, race 1 winner, coming up there on the screen. Very cool car, that Chevrolet Camaro. Sounds incredible, sounds as good as it looks.
So he's got to the back of Lance Hughes in the Tirana now. So he's only 19 seconds off the race lead. And it was almost 30 just a couple of laps ago. 4 laps remaining in this one. Shorter race for the handicap race than we go back to more normal style, fastest to the front racing from tomorrow. Robinson by 3.8 seconds. 19 seconds first to last. We'll keep you up to speed with that gap next time they come across the line. Nothing's changed in this fight. Grant Crosby, that Camaro has got enough straight line poke just to keep Craig Boot behind him. And Nick Ross is just a spectator in this one. Great battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th place. Angus Fogg's getting to them as well.
It looks like these guys they're going to get to Mark Stretton on this lap. What's going to happen here? Crosby and Boot down the middle of them all. What a pass from Craig Boot. Can he hold it round the outside of Grant Crosby as he puts the power down on the Mustang? Is he going to go around the outside, down towards Splash there in the 07 car? He's going to do it. What a pass from Craig Boot. What a drive.
Angus Fogg's got to the back of this as well. That was awesome racing. And great respect. Mark Stretton just bailed out of that at turn 1. He's like, you guys are quicker. You can have this. It's all yours. Fogg now on the outside of Nick Ross.
The Dodge Challenger, Mopar versus Mustang, horsepower down towards Higgins there. The Challenger gets up on the outside of Angus Fogg. Foggy's going to hold it to the inside there and get the pass done. Can he put the power down? He does nicely. Gets a little gap on the exit there. That number 11 J.R. Russell car's got awesome drive traction. He's now all over the back of Grant Crosby, who's just had to deal with Craig Boot. Craig Boot's now made his way through and taken that 3rd place away.
There'll be 2 laps to go this time by. Angus has to get past these two this lap, or he will not get to Robbo Robinson, the race leader. This group of cars all covered by a second, but they're 3 seconds behind the race leader. 2 laps to go. There's one of them. Grant Crosby back now. Craig Boot will be harder to pass, perhaps.
Craig Boot is definitely going to make it to Robbo Robinson, but can Angus Fogg get past Booty before they get to Robinson? That's going to be the challenge here, because Craig Boot could either take the lead or lose the spot. He's going to go defensive. The right thing to do, keeps Angus Fogg at bay. It's going to come down to the last corner or so. This is going to be tooth and nail there. Booty didn't quite get the power down, And Angus Fogg's going to go around the outside, but is Craig going to start the inside and try and outbrake Foggy? He's going to try, go down the inside again. Angus gives him the room. The two Mustangs, and he's turned him around. Foggy's been turned around by Craig Boot, so that's gone haywire down there at Higgins.
All of a sudden, this race is wide open, and Robbo Robinson continues to lead the way. Purple Mustang is your race leader. On the handicap start, these two side by side again. Ross going round the outside. What a great move on Grant Crosby.
And who's going to take the race win? Robbo Robinson gets it at the line from Craig Boot.
No, 1 lap to go, Ronan. Still a lap to go. So they're on the final lap now. So Craig Boot leads this one. Robbo's been swallowed up, so he got within 3 Ks, didn't he?
Oh, and something's happened to Crosby. He's now lost a spot to Andy Knight.
So Knight has got to the race leaders with half a lap to go. Can he do this one on the final lap? This handicap has worked an absolute treat. Having said that, this was Angus Fogg's race to lose, you feel. Contact at turn 6, turn the J.A. Russell Mustang around. Right, Foggy is further back in the field. Andrew Knight is closing on the 2 leaders. There's just the long back straight and the final corner to go.
Andy Knight now, he puts the power down the Camaro. I reckon he's going to get past Nick Ross, but he's going to be hard pressed to get to Craig Boot by the last corner. Booty goes to the inside, defensive. Nick Ross now up on the outside. What's going to happen here? Ross puts the power down on the Challenger, but that Camaro's got good traction off the corner, and who's going to get it across the line? Craig Boot takes the win.
Knight gets second. He got second by 0.006 of a second. Just edged out the Dodge Challenger by a tiny, tiny margin.
Awesome racing from those guys. What a battle at the front there. Unfortunate for Angus Fogg. Unfortunately, he got turned around, and there'll be, you see there, Craig Boots, right-hand man Timo there, watching on as they came across the line. And unfortunately for Booty there, that may get looked into. It was a great drive, and unfortunately just that contact may put an asterisk on the end result, but we'll wait to find out later on. Craig Boot took the race win from Andy Knight. Nick Ross rounded out the podium.
Crosby, Hughes and Robinson next. Angus Fogg, well, what could have been for the championship leader in Napa Central Muscle Cars. Mark Stretton 8th, and Tristan Tecchi didn't take the start in that one. We go and find the handicappers and shake their hands after that one. What a show. Brilliant racing and brilliant driving in the end by Craig Boot to hold on just from a fast finishing Andy Knight. Highlights in the Napa Central Muscle Cars race to the handicap start. At one point, the car that finished second was more than 25 seconds behind the race leader. And this was pretty wild stuff as the Mark Stretton Futura just got out of the way, and then this was wild. How was Angus Fogg with a commitment around the outside at 6? Big moment.
Going at it there was Foggy, and then he got down the inside of Grant Crosby. Great pass. And then he just had one more Mustang ahead of him to deal with, Craig Boot. And then this is where it all started to unfold. So Booty didn't quite get the exit there. He got out on the curb a little bit, couldn't quite put the power down. Foggy got past, and then the contact. Oh, that's going to be a hard one to decide there. Booty was decent way up beside him, but we'll have to wait and see from some different angles. You see there, Timo on the radio straight away, checking in.
Well, I'm glad I'm not in Motorsport New Zealand race control, put it that way. And then this on the final lap, down the inside, Nick Ross, what a battle he put in the Dodge Challenger. Just got pipped by Andy Knight as they crossed the line, but the winner in the end was Craig Boot as they head to Allied Petroleum Victory Lane. Welcome back. The Napa Central Muscle Cars. It's been a busy little period for this championship, racing at Scope down at Ruapuna just a couple of weeks ago, and now making their way up here to the Manawatu for the grand finale for Repco NextGen NZ, which is where they started their championship at Hampton Downs in November. What a show they put on, and the best thing is they've got 2 more races to come your way tomorrow. You'll see all of that coverage live here on Sky Sports, live and local, and wherever you might be watching around the world as well. Well, the NAPA Central Muscle Cars have put on a cracking show, Andrew Wade. I'm looking forward to seeing how these drivers explain that one.
I'll tell you what, that was certainly a fantastic race, the handicap race. It all started happening towards the end of the race. Craig Boot, great job with the race win there. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. It's always tough when you've got those fast guys coming behind you, but unfortunately, Fogg and I had a bit of a set to there, but he's done it to plenty of others, so it was just, yeah, it was a bit unfortunate, but I think it was just a racing incident, so I'm very happy with the win.
Talk us through, from your point of view, what happened between you and Foggy there.
Oh, I sort of took the inside line and he come down on me coming out of the corner, but he'll have a different version because old Foggy never admits anything, but I'll stick to my guns. I'm pretty happy with it. Look, I'd like to dedicate this win today to my dear mum, Helen. You know, we put her asleep in the grave on Thursday, and it's called Mustang Helly, so I'm just absolutely thrilled to be able to have a win for her.
Great job, well done, very fitting. And in second place in the race, Andy Knight made your way through towards the end of the race. Good job, well done. How was that race for you?
We were a little bit slow for a start. It took me a long time. The car wasn't what it was this morning. It took me a long time to get to them, but then it all sort of unfolded with a couple of guys at the end there, and we managed to get through to second just.
What is it about these cars? You've gone from winning New Zealand Grand Prix to now racing these cars for a few years. What keeps you coming back?
I don't really know, to be fair. So sometimes when you're trying to get ready, I really wonder why we're bothering. But once you're here, it's a great lot of fun. They got a ton of power, and you do reasonably quick lap times, but it's really all done down the straights. As they don't corner that well, but they're a great bunch of guys, and good racing.
Good job, well done. And in third place, Nick Ross tied in amongst that battle. Pretty full on for you out there?
Yeah, that was a bit of fun actually. If we can get starts like that every round, apart from the ones in the South Island, which were pretty shitty, we might actually get a bit further up the field. But no, a lot of fun, a lot of outside racing, close racing, and not a lot of touching. So that's what we come racing for.
What is it that you got to do to get those starts a bit better?
I haven't figured that out yet, but no, they're slowly getting better. But yeah, the pace of the car is not quite where we want it. We went with some older tyres that time and probably should have put the new ones on. But hey, we'll take a third place after this morning's race, so they're pretty happy. The Elf team's doing a great job for me and keeping the car running. So yeah, can't ask for more than that.
Great job, well done.
Andrew Waite down there with the NAPA Central Muscle Cars down in Allied Petroleum Victory Lane. Bit to unpick from all of that. Lots more to come your way. We hope you're enjoying our coverage from the Repco NextGen NZ Championship here at Manfield, the Summerset GT New Zealand Championship not far away.
They've become destinations in their own right and jewels of the Kiwi motor racing landscape. On the South Island, nestled in beautiful Cromwell and everything that Central Otago has to offer is Highlands Motorsport Park, home in recent years to the New Zealand Grand Prix. From mini golf to karts, one of the best museums in the Tasman region, and the award-winning Blue with a View. With its thriving membership and a commitment to experiences that are exceptional, there's cool cars in action here almost every day of the year. In the centre of the North Island, fittingly in an adventure playground, is Taupō International Motorsport Park. Extensive upgrades that complement the venue's history has seen it attract major sports like supercars, helping to bolster tourism in the region. Friendly staff, activities for aspiring racers, as well as road safety initiatives, make it a standout in the range of Taupō attractions. The third of the parks in this impressive group in some ways brings the best of both its siblings together. Hampton Downs will catch your eye as you travel along the freeway through the Waikato. A strong membership and quality on-site living for those who love racing and dream machines. Hampton has made itself a car culture capital, with regular events for those who just want to admire, to world-renowned gatherings like Mad Mike's Summer Bash. There's a busy industry precinct, karts, a variety of layouts for track activity and more, all overseen by a team committed to making your visit one to remember. The grounds of Hampton Downs, Taupō and Highlands are something to behold, but it's the memories made here that will live with you forever.
faster? An F1 driver, a NASCAR driver, or a drift legend? Right? Someone needs to go and check on Liam right now. We're going to bring together 3 New Zealand motorsport titans and put them head-to-head in a series of yard-based challenges. A little bit scared. Out here on a remote Kiwi farm. Starting with a time trial in this. Pro-Light Stadium truck with a 400 horsepower rotary engine built for jumps and dirt. Right, gents, each of you are going to go out and set a lap with the fastest getting 75 points, second 50 points, and third a measly 25.
Better than none.
Also, there is a target off of that jump over there. Miss it, and you get a 5-second time penalty. I've heard this is your truck. I think it makes sense you go first, Mike.
Okay, I'll go.
Mike's up first and should be putting in a strong lap time in his own truck. Where do you think most of the time on the track's going to get made or lost?
I mean, the start's important.
Whoa!
How's he gonna, mate, he's not gonna get up the jump. Oh, but he's so deep, he's a bit wide. Smoking a bit.
Des, do you want to know what your target is to beat?
Tell us.
1 minute, 4 seconds.
You're up. I'm not going first, bro. I'm watching you.
Just gonna get this beautiful F1 suit a little bit dirty, mate.
Liam's up next and completely out of his comfort zone. Racing in a muddy field couldn't be further away from Formula 1 racing. 2, 1, go!
That was way faster than my
Because you just wheel spun.
I was going nowhere. Oh, bro, it's like Formula 1 driver through that.
Why?
Oh,
he is a Formula 1.
Yeah, well, it's
Looks
like,
good.
yeah, it's fast. Oh, he's on a good one.
So he can potentially lose a lot of time in this section.
Well, he's got to hit the target.
He's going to hit the target.
I missed it!
Pretty good lap.
Oh, it sounds so good.
1.16.
Ooh, but he's plus 5 seconds.
Plus 5 seconds, so Mike is still in the lead in your own truck. Come on.
That target was so far to the left, I would have literally, like, it was so out of place.
It looks good from here.
It looked all right.
Goal is hit the target, bro. Wherever the target is, yeah.
Hey, it was fast.
It was fast. You were a faster lap time than me by a lot.
I felt like such a good lap.
Dude, it was.
It was.
Like through here, bro, I'm like, oh, bro, he's clearly a Formula 1 driver.
And I'm though, the target me.
Shane's up last and has the opportunity to show off how NASCAR racing skills can transfer to dirt tracks.
Oh, yuck. How much stink?
Do we think he can do it?
I reckon he's going to have the like steady start, which is the faster approach.
That could be the deal breaker. 3, 2, 1. More measured start.
A little understeer, but it's quick. Oh, bro, he's sending it. Oh, look at that. It's race. That's the NASCAR line, that one. Freaking 5 seconds.
The wind's dropped off.
Did he miss the corner? Oh, he's understeering down the bank.
I think he's good. Okay, so lads, it's 50 seconds. Let's move a bit. And final straight.
He cleaned us up.
59.06.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, mate, you smoked. There's like 59 and you hit the target.
Dude, that was so fast.
In the
Mate, nice work, buddy.
and all.
Reckon.
So in first place, we have our guy Shane here. Second place, Mike. Third place, Liam Lawson.
Wasn't ideal.
There's still time, mate.
There's still time.
There is still time, and there is the lawnmowers, where...
Get me on the lawnmower.
That's when the real race goes down. Oh, he's cutting him in! Now, gents, racing isn't all about going fast. It's about how well you can control your car. So next up, we've got a good old-fashioned drift competition. Aim of the game, hit as many of those targets as possible. I'm looking at you, mate. You've got to hit them this time.
Thanks, bro.
Each target is worth 10 points. Mike, I think it's only fair, mate. You are the drift legend. Okay. You're going first. Go! What's the strategy? Do you have to come in pretty quick?
No idea. 5. You missed 2.
It looks like Mike hit 5 of the 6 targets. Lads, did we learn anything?
No. Usually in drifting, in my drift car, we're playing with millimeters and a rear bumper on a wall. With this, I got a whole truck and a massive target, and I still managed to miss. So
yeah, but it doesn't make me feel very good about this.
Way more challenging than what I thought.
Right, lads, who's next?
Shane. Shane's going.
Shane's up next, and he needs to do well here to hold on to first place in the points. Go! Shane is up.
Oh, not a good start, mate. You need to get the wheels going. Oh! He didn't even get one! Oh! No, that's it!
That's it. No, it's
you don't get a look lap and a second attempt.
I know the rules, and that's it.
I need this. What, we're going again?
There is genuine drama right now.
This absolutely
Now
doesn't
it's going a rail slow. But dude, you can't have 3 takes. A look lap, a take.
That's it.
I hate how I'm being put in between you guys.
I missed my target and you made me miss it.
Yeah.
That's 0.
Yeah.
Shane. Gents, obviously controversy there. I'll let you two vote. Are we going to let Shane take his first run on the second run?
What, with the look lap or like how many, which lap? I lost count of the laps,
Are we going to
bro.
let him have 5 points there? On the count of 3, both together, 3, 2, 1.
0, I think.
If he's racing NASCAR or Formula 1 and you spin, you don't get to restart the race, mate.
Sorry, Shane, it's a 0, which puts you down into second place.
I just got to get more than 1. Yeah, more than 1, and I got points on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The diggers come up quick.
Liam, if you can't hit them, you just got to do a crowd pleaser. I reckon you start doing donuts. Do it for the audience. Right, so just as I said, Liam, yeah? First gear, on the limiter, a little bit of handbrake.
Thanks, bro.
Normally, Liam gets told off for drifting, but now he's allowed to do it. Right, final competitor, Mr. Liam Lawson. Let's go! It's a nervy start. Drifting isn't part of F1 at all, so he needs to pull off a miracle to get back in this competition. Wow,
nailed it.
6. And just like that, Liam has crept into a very close second place.